Would it be possible to survive Lei Heng's strongest attack only using evade?
때는 어디까지 각오했을지.
호랑이를 잡으려 그랬으면 누구도 잡아 맥힐 각오를 했어야지.
And the answer is yes. However, the rules are simple. Without directly debuffing Lei Heng in terms of attack power or offense level, aside from the pre-applied Morositas, I will try to dodge the entire attack by means of buffing Rien to meet the needed clash power. Fortunately, the setup is not as unforgiving as the follow-up composition. However, to gain this result, one must account for the intricacies within the facilitation of this strategy, which includes most of the Zwei association. Yes, the irony that the ID whose story pertains to destruction of a section within this organization now relies on its help to achieve a specific goal is not lost upon myself. However, here are the requirements. Alongside the support of this organization, we also need to be accompanied by Heathcliff, and consider a very peculiar HP management strategy. To begin, you would need the employ of the Ego Binds for its passive coming from Heathcliff, which entails the continuance of his physicality until the moment of execution. Zwei Sinclair and Faust, whom are vigilant for the physiology of our combatants, only assisting those with possession of the lower percentage of their health. Zwei Ishmael, whom only notes the disparity of HP between the current turn and the last. Zwei Gregor, though inapplicable to the Tiger/Dodge attempt, does fixate on the maximum HP value your sinners possess. G Corporation Otis, who will provide well-meaning but unreliable assistance, as this will only apply for the unit that is in possession of the most HP, not most theoretical HP. However, the random nature, of which I'm assuming is an even 33% probability for each enhancement, means that it is quite unreliable in execution. For the support passives, you have to note that it is dependent on HP, both in raw value and percentage. Both Zwei Sinclair and Faust will select units with the lowest percentage of HP, and Zwei Gregor and G Corp Otis will select units with the highest HP value. This might seem counterintuitive considering one needs a higher value and the other a lower percentage, but consider the fact that 99% of 248 compared to 100% of 208 will both be seen as a lower percentage and at the same time a higher value of HP, which allows it to be possible. The same logic can be applied with Ishmael's passive, as for example, a unit that took 1 burn damage last turn will technically still have a higher disparity of HP between turns compared to a unit that did not take damage at all. Therefore, you would need Yisang to have more HP than the selected Heathcliff ID, and during the fight have him take some damage while making sure Heathcliff remains unscathed, because again, assuming that Heathcliff has 208 HP, full stop, and Rien Sang's 248, having less than 248 would put him at a lower percentage compared to Heathcliff's, while still having more HP. Secondly, try not to receive too much damage, as his mask needs to stay on. It's not as important, but still could be useful, as the Sizzling Wound passive will give -3 defense level down compared to the original -2. It is paramount to the strategy that every smattering of defense level has to be utilized, and as such even a singular value can be instrumental for success. Now with this in mind, let's peruse the idea of mathematics for a moment. The defense skill can gain +1 clash power for every 3 defense levels over the opponent's offense level. The base defense level of Rien Sang has 62, -3 from Sizzling Wound. Lei Heng's STS PFOF has the offense power of 89. Take the average of both thanks to Morositas and you are left with the defense level for the evade to be 59 plus 89 divided by 2, which equals 74. Then with the additional defense levels from the passives before combat start, which are +5 for Absolute Resonance, +3 Sinclair passive, which leaves us with 74 plus 8, which equals to 82. Then at combat start, add an additional 5 from the Binds passive, +2 from Zwishmael, +2 from the Fausive, which equates to 9. Which then translates to 82 plus 9 equals 91. 91 defense level versus Savage Tiger Slayer 72, which has the difference of 19 in favor of the bonus defense level. 19 divided by 3 is equal to 6.333, which rounds down. With the base dodge of 14 plus 2, that the unlock conditional provides, which equals to 16 clash power, then plus 6 for the extra clash power thanks to the difference in defense levels, which equals to 22. The highest I got was 22, which is enough to dodge an unclashed STS PFOB if Lei Heng rolls the tails on at least one coin.
그대는 어디까지 각오했을지.
호랑이를 잡으려고 그랬으면 누구도 잡아 맥힐 각오를 했어야지.
You could definitely get a 23 evade if you once again get lucky with the 33% chance of Otis's support passive. If you look at the screenshot during the test, Otis gives us protection instead of the defense level up, leaving us at a 22. Lastly, there is still one more possible optimization to be done. By making sure the entire board is an absolute gloom resonance, you can at least get 2 more defense level, as a 6 absolute resonance will reward with 7 bonus defense levels as opposed to the 4's plus 5.
사격 개시.
완료.
But with the available IDs with Gloom for Heathcliff, the practice is unreliable. CCA and Sunshower Heathcliff will have more HP, interfering with Otis's and Gregor's passive. Kleinhammer Heathcliff might be doable with his Gloom defense, but low coin values and no dodge leaves him vulnerable to losing HP, which you would need Heathcliff to be at full HP as to not steal the Zwei passives. Ophi, Wild Hunt, and Multicrack run into the same problem as before, but also have no reliable way to force Gloom abilities on the field when it's time to execute. Meaning that Full Stop is the best, considering how it has Gloom for its skill 1s, alongside an evade and high base coin values. But with this in mind, considering how the difference between the evade and attack levels were 19, the 2 more defense level could reach the breakpoint of 21 for 7 more clash power. This and Otis's unreliable buff leaves us at a 24 theoretical yield for evading against the Savage Tiger Slayer's perfected flurry of blades. In conclusion, yes, it is possible. It just makes me want to rip my hair out, but what doesn't now these days? I also forgot to mention that Honglu needs to die within the first 3 turns, or else he takes up 1 of the 6 attack slots you need to use for the absolute resonance. That's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to drink plenty of water.
호랑이를 잡으려고 그랬으면 누구도 잡아 맥힐 각오를 했어야지. 여기서 좀 챙겨.
딸아이도 이 상처를 기억할지.
보이지도 잡히지도 않겠지만 그 사슬로